What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman of GBP Daily, and welcome to the Rob Westerman Show. You guessed it. It is Wednesday, August 14th, and the Packers wrapped up their 14th practice of camp yesterday. And as always, some not so good news and some good news, some surprising quotes following practice from a beloved Packer, which we'll get into later. We're going to deep dive into it, but before we do, let's say a quick what's up to everybody in the chat. My man Nick, Rob, what's up, Nick? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Jason, go Pack, go. I can do better than you know who out there. It can't be that hard to get 0 yards on a run play. Jason, settle down, my man. We'll get into that in a little bit. Don't get too offended there. Maria, morning, Rob. Go Pack, go. Thanks for all you do. Have a great day. Maria, thank you so much. I don't do a whole lot outside of turning on the camera, chatting it up with you guys. So outside of that, there's not much else I do any different than any of you guys. So thank you for the comment, Maria. I appreciate you. Tristan, Wick season, baby. 13 is going to be a problem this year. Tristan, I agree. Here we go. We saw it on Saturday. One play, one catch, 65-yard touchdown. Love it. Love it. All right. As I said earlier, practice number 14 took place yesterday. Those who did not practice, Jarvion Howard with an ankle injury, running back Marshawn Lloyd with a hamstring injury, and he injured that hamstring in the game on Saturday. So you don't like to see that. So he was missing some time with the hip, if I remember correctly, earlier on in camp. And Coach said it. He just wants him to get healthy so he can see him in a game. He's seen what he can do in practice. He's a playmaker. So hopefully he can heal up here soon and get out on the field. He hasn't practiced yet this week. So we'll see today, maybe later on this week if he'll practice, and maybe give it a go on Sunday against the Broncos. Other guys who did not practice, Carrington Valentine with a hamstring injury, Keyshawn Banks with a groin, and Edgerrin Cooper with a hip. Quay Walker and Jacob Monk both dropped out of practice. Don't know the extent of either of those guys, but something to monitor as they hit the field again today for practice number 15. To combat that, we have quite a few players returning to practice in some capacity, at least. Jordan Morgan is back, Tyron Hopper, Dimitri Stanley, Donovan Jennings, and Deslin Alexander all return to practice in some form, so that is good news. Jordan Love yesterday was 10 for 20 overall. Started off hot and kind of went along okay as practice went on. They executed a screen play to Musgrave, which we have not seen a whole lot of, at least as of last year and so far in training camp this year. So Musgrave hasn't gotten a lot of buzz this offseason, and for no bad reason. Got a lot of playmakers at receiver, and there's just a lot of guys to talk about. So with time, and just like yesterday, he'll get some shout-outs here and there too. So don't take the no news on Musgrave as far as something negative. He'll get some shine here, so he'll get what's coming to him. So, Icy, it's 5 a.m. currently for me right now. But thoughts on Stokes' potential for a bounce back season? Icy, thanks for tuning in at 5 in the morning. It is 7:30 for me. I was up and at it early as usual. Hit the gym, and now I'm back chatting with you guys. So, appreciate you getting up early and tuning in. Stokes bounce back season. I'm pretty excited for it. I think he's going to remind everybody that he was a first-round draft pick. And so far in camp, he's looked good and no injury concern, which has kind of been his bug the last couple of years. So I'm excited. So, Icy, thank you for the chat over on YouTube. I appreciate you. Excuse me. On to some more riveting news. Undrafted free agent kicker Alex Hale had a rough go at it yesterday. He was 5 for 9 overall, I think, if I remember, for practice yesterday. He came in last week, and on his first day, he was 5 for 6, so a good start. But yeah, yesterday was pretty rough. Started off 4 for 4, then missed his next 4, and then made the last one to end practice. So I guess it's always good to end on a positive note, I suppose. But Joseph and Carlson did not kick yesterday, and I don't think Hale has any real shot at making the roster. So we'll see how long he sticks around. Michael Pratt getting some work with the twos during practice yesterday. Sean Clifford threw a pick right off the bat to Zane Alexander, if I remember correctly, and then to Kalen King later on in practice. So just kind of a continuance of his training camp, especially towards the beginning of just not doing so well. So they're giving Michael Pratt some looks, which you love to see. Hopefully he can prove to be a backup quarterback in some form. Otherwise, they'll probably have to find someone to come in and back up Jordan, because I just don't think Clifford is the answer, at least at this point. So barring an impressive finish to preseason, it's either Pratt or someone on a different team. So John's hitting it up in the chat, Clifford or Pratt. Right now, I'm going to have to go with Pratt. He looked good on Saturday. He's looked pretty good in camp, especially for not really knowing the playbook and only being here for, a couple weeks during camp and then back in OTAs for a little while there too. But I like Clifford. I think he's a gamer, as Tom Clements said. He compared him to Matt Flynn back in the day. So still a lot of time left. I don't think there's a clear-cut answer between Pratt and Clifford. But if I had to choose right now, give me Pratt. So, and if not Pratt, somebody else. So now the reason why you are all here, let's chat it up, shall we? Nick has been in the chat firing it off. Thoughts on the CeeDee Lamb trade rumors? That's just what they are, Nick. I think they're just rumors. They're rumors, more so proposals. No, there's not been any legit reporting on any interest from either side of that going down. I think it was just a trade proposal done by Bleacher Report, I believe, just to kind of fire up the content a little bit. I think it was CeeDee Lamb for Christian Watson in a first, in a third. So, yeah, I'm good on that. So I'll take our guys, and I'll take not having to pay CeeDee Lamb the big contract that he's about to get with either the Cowboys or somebody else, because he's going to get paid. So don't get sucked into the proposals, Nick. It is proposal season, as it has been all summer, and will continue to be up until the regular season start and there's actual content to be made. So, Nick, thank you for the chat. I appreciate you, man. As a reminder, I'm live every morning, so tune in. Chat some Packers. I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan hanging out, talking Packers with you guys. So, Little J, CeeDee Lamb to the Pack. I don't think so, my man. But thank you for the comment either way. Nick, CeeDee Lamb is cold, but we can't pay CeeDee $35 million when we already gave Jordan $55 million. Bingo. John, do you think the Jordan Love signing was too early or the right time? In my opinion, I think it was too late. I wish it would have been done earlier this summer. We would have avoided having to beat Jared Goff's number, Trevor Lawrence's number. As time went on, the price just went up, which we either had to pay him or not, and we wouldn't have him, sort of thing. That's kind of where I was at. So I said all along, whatever it takes to get it done, just get it done. So that's where I'm at. Thank you, John, for tuning in. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Little J, love the setup. I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you. Icy, how serious was the Linsfrack injury Stokes suffered? I know he had to relearn how to walk, but is he even 100%? I'm not exactly sure the seriousness of it. Obviously, he missed quite a bit of time, and I think he's 100%. I haven't heard any reports on any issues as far as him during OTAs, during training camp so far. I think he's gonna be ready for this season. I think he's gonna have a good season. His speed's back, so I'm excited for Eric Stokes. So Icy, thank you. W, is the JJ McCarthy news accurate? It is. Yes, he is having a little repair on his meniscus. Now, depending on the repair, whether it has to get, I think, maybe cut just a little, or if it has to get repaired completely, will determine how long he's out. But Sam Darnold, QB1 for the Vikes. Tough to see JJ McCarthy go down before even playing a regular season game. You never like to see that, even though if it is for the Vikings, you never like to see injuries. Thank you, W, for the comment. Chase, do you remember Jared Abbrederis when he played for the Packers? Chase, that's a blast from the past. As a Wisconsin fan myself, how could I forget the famous Abbrederis era? I remember when the Packers drafted him, I was pretty pumped. Didn't have the best career as far as a receiver for the Packers. But funny story, we were at the softball game, the charity softball game up in Appleton. My uncle, shortly after the draft, had custom ordered Jared Abbrederis' jersey. And Abbrederis was there. He came over and signed it for my uncle and had told him that this is the first Packers jersey he had signed. So that was pretty funny. Unfortunately, he didn't turn out to be a whole lot. What I do remember mostly about him was how much playing time he got in that Cardinals playoff loss, just because all of our dudes were hurt. So Jared Abbrederis, Badger great. Love me some Jared Abbrederis. Abram, go Pat, go from France. Cannot wait for week 1 to get here. Excuse me. Abram, thank you for the chat. I'm with you. If I remember correctly, we've got about 23 days until Packers, Eagles, and Brazil. So shoot some predictions in the comment section. Packers, Eagles, week 1. It's creeping up on us pretty quick here. I kind of want to get a vibe check on where everyone's head is at. I'll go Packers 23, Eagles 17. It's kind of where I'm at. I feel like, week 1, week 2, week 3, the offenses are a little slower than normal. I guess as opposed to last year's week 1 when we blew the brakes off of the Bears. But that's kind of like not a fair comparison. The Bears were and are still bad. So until they prove me wrong, otherwise the Bears will always suck. So Abram, thank you for the message. Throw some predictions in the comments there. Packers, Eagles, week 1. What are you guys thinking? I went Packers 23, Eagles 21. W in the chat says Packers 28, Eagles 21. 28 W requires 4 made extra points by us. And I think that's kind of asking a lot. So I went 23 because I feel like we'll get 3 touchdowns. We'll miss one of those extra points and then hit a field goal. So I'm not trying to be negative here. I just kind of like to do something a little different. I always feel like when I do a 21-14 prediction, typically no field goals in a game is somewhat odd. So 28-21 W. Clyde in the chat says 24-6 Pack. Jeff Hafley's defense coming out on fire with your prediction. Stevie 17-14. I'll take all those as long as we get a win traveling down to Brazil. Friday night game, which is pretty unique. I'm pretty excited. Thursday night, I can't remember who the Chiefs are playing to kick off the season. But boom, we're up next. Friday night game. I am pumped. Linda in the chat. Hi, Rob. Hi, Linda. Good morning. How are you? I hope you are having a good morning, just like I am. And I'm sure we will be seeing you soon. Omer. Morning, Rob. And morning, Packers Nation. Hope everyone is well. Stoked to see this team looking so good in its first preseason game. Omer, that's a great point. We looked pretty good, and we came out of it just about injury free. So outside of the Marshawn Lloyd hamstring injury, which you just hate to see, especially it being a hamstring, we hate that word. He had a hip injury earlier on in training camp, as I mentioned earlier. But we'll see if he can practice this week. I don't think it's too serious based on what he's said and what coach has said. So hopefully he can get back on the practice field and maybe back in time for Sunday against the Broncos for preseason game number 2. But we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't practice this week, didn't play Sunday, didn't practice much of next week, didn't play in the third preseason game. You know the Packers like to bode on the side of caution when it comes to injuries, which is fine with me. So, Omer, thank you for tuning in. Good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Tracy, excuse me, Blake, do you have any game day rituals or are you superstitious at all? I am not superstitious. I don't have any strict rituals, really. I'm always up early, I guess. That's one thing that's a for sure. Always up early on game days. I'm up early every day, though, so not sure if you count that as anything different. I absorb as much content from all the great Packer content creators, reporters, anything involving the game ahead, pretty much all day leading up to kickoff. So whether that's posting content, chatting with you guys, reading, watching, listening, chatting with you guys on the live shows, typically just immersed in everything Packers on game days. My favorite day of the week, of the year, are Packers game days. I've always told folks that have asked, my favorite place to be over anywhere else is Lambeau Field on game day. Now, would I want to be at Lambeau Field over, a beachside vacation when it's not game day? No, I'd rather be on the beach for sure. But when it's game day, I'll pick Lambeau Field for home games, of course. I'll do Lambeau Field home games over anywhere in the world. So, Blake, thank you for your question. I'm not superstitious either. I feel like they just don't work for me. I've tried maybe a couple times in the past. I can't remember specifically. But I don't think what I'm doing or what I'm saying affects anything that the Packers do, which I'm sure we're all pretty much in agreement here. I know it's more so of a tongue-in-cheek thing. People wear the same jersey if they've had good luck in the past or whatever. I just not my thing. If that's your thing, that's great. And if it's working, keep doing it. But yeah, no superstitions. So game day rituals, not a whole lot. Superstitions, not a whole lot. We usually go to about 2 or 3 games a year. And that's enough for me. I love, like I said, there's no way I'd rather be than Lambeau Field on game day. But I also enjoy watching the games from home too, just kind of hanging out on the couch, chilling. You get to really soak in everything content related. You can really focus in on what's happening in the game. Whereas when we're at the game, of course, we're focusing on the game, every play, whatnot. But there's a lot going on. And unless you're inside the club seats with Wayne Larrivee and John Kuhn over the Packers radio network with the play-by-play, sometimes you're kind of missing some things that are happening on the field. But, yeah, I enjoy watching the games from home just as much as I enjoy being at the games. So thank you, Blake, for the question. Tracy. Oh, here we go. I may be in the minority here, but I don't have any issue with what A.J. Dillon said after practice yesterday. What's up, Tracy? Thank you for the comments. I've got the quote right here. I was planning on talking about it here in a second, but since you brought it up, here's what A.J. Dillon said to Cody Krupp of Fox 11 News yesterday after practice. He was asked if he had a message to the keyboard warriors out there, mainly following Saturday's game. I know there's a lot of buzz on social media about his performance. He had said, I graded 98%, try to go out and do more than what I did. If you don't live inside my house, your opinion is so secondary to me, I couldn't be bothered with it. You can't do what we're doing. Just enjoy and watch. Listen, I love AJ Dillon. I think he's going to make. I think he's going to make this team and have a big role in our offense this year. He changed his body. He knows the playbook through and through. So much so that Marshawn Lloyd said him and Josh Jacobs go to him with any questions about the plays, about what they should be doing. He's a great dude, clearly a team player, just based off that and everything else we know. Am I surprised that fans are upset about him telling us to just enjoy and watch? I'm not surprised. In our defense, it is not enjoyable to watch when plays don't work out, but that's just a part of it. Not every play is going to be a touchdown. He was in there for a few plays. There wasn't much for him to work with, at least from what I saw, which I only watched it one time, and that was on Saturday during the broadcast. So for me, at least, before I can cast any heap or a heap of praise or criticism, I'll wait until the actual games start. And so for now, let's take a deep breath. And like he said yesterday, a little reassuring, everyone in the locker room is doing all they can. They're working their butts off just to do the best they can. So that's all I want. So do I have an issue with what he said? No. Do I understand why some fans do? Yes, that's fine. It is a direct shot towards the keyboard warriors out there. That was the question he was asked. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say about that one. So, Omer, my response to AJ. Short yardage has been a chronic issue for Green Bay for years. AJ has certainly not proven to be the answer. 4 years in, and we're still talking about pad level. The O-line needs to block better, yes. Good points, Omer. Yeah, pad level, I'm sure that was – I don't know if having low pad level is necessarily an issue for him, more so than maybe that was just kind of a comment by coach. But, yeah, the O-line needs to block better too. So, guys just need to perform a little bit better all around, and I don't think we're having this conversation. So, thank you, Tracy, for the comment. Really appreciate it. Here's to A.J. Dillon having a good year. How about that? Before we head out of here, after practice today, the Packers have a walkthrough tomorrow. They will be heading to Denver for a joint practice on Friday against the Broncos, and they play them on Sunday for preseason game number 2. So I'm pretty excited to watch that. Also, if you're wanting to get to training camp this year, there are only 3 more practices open to the public left, which is crazy to say. Seems like training camp just started. Seems like we were just up there week before last, soaking it in, checking out the squad. Squad's looking good, by the way. So one of those last 3 are today. So if you're in the area and you realistically can give it a go and are on the fence about it, do it. It's a fun time. I'm not exactly sure what the weather's going to be like up there, but check it out. The last 2 are next week, Tuesday and Thursday. So Thursday's joint practice with the Ravens. That one's open to the public. Tuesday's just a regular practice open to the public. So get up there and check it out. One last thing here, Larry. So now, what are your season predictions for this season? Larry, there's only one prediction I've got. Super Bowl champs, of course. No, but for real, I think they're more so in the, 10 or more wins, no more than probably 13 in that range, 11-6, 12-5. I'll take that 12-5 Super Bowl title. I'll take it. So, Larry, thank you for the question. Nick's been chatting it up all show. I appreciate you, man. Nick, we showed what type of team we are. No less than 12 wins. We can battle with the Lions. We crushed them on Thanksgiving. We battled. We were leading the Niners with minutes left in the 4th. We controlled that game in Santa Clara. So I think the Niners and the Lions, they're the cream of the crop as far as the NFC goes, and we're right there with them. I posted about it the other day on social media. We're not just competing with the best of the best. We are one of the best of the best. So that's where I'm at with that. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as you know, the content never stops. I'm always posting anything Packers related all day long. So be sure to follow me at GBP Daily on every social platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Threads. I'm everywhere. So, and if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at GBP Daily as well. It would mean a ton. I'll be back and at it again tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.